Huh, it looks like I escaped Asphodel. I wonder where I am. You there, ma'am. Would you care to tell me where we are right now?
Me?
Yes, you. I don't see anybody else here. Would you be kind enough to tell me in which way I could find Mount Olympus?
What's that?
Mount Olympus, where all the Greek gods are, my family, because, I am the son of Hades.
I thought that wasn't real.
No, it is fairly real. I am standing right here, ma'am.
I'm just a lowly dressmaker. I don't know where Mount Olympus is.
Interesting. Do these dresses have any qualities that would help me escape my father's domain so that I can get to Mount Olympus?
I must be losing my mind.
No, ma'am. I'm still here.
No,
I'm right.
I think I'm losing it.
Ma'am, no.
There has to have been something in that loaf of bread
Ma'am,
that the baker dropped off last night.
My dress, ma'am. Please, my dress. Ma'am, don't walk away. Please.
I need rest. I'm losing it.
Okay, well, I guess in the meantime, a dressmaker and the son of Hades enjoy ramen. Hello, welcome to Anovelconsole, your weekly podcast where we talk about books, games, food, and stuff that caught our attention during the week. My name is Chris, and with me is my beautiful co-host and wife, Karradyne.
Hello.
Hello, and how are you? How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I don't know.
I feel like I'm Dory speaking whale.
We've had a day. And a week.
And
a weekend.
We say this every week. Every week we have an excuse for why we're struggling. Because we are always struggling.
You know who else is struggling? And I'm pretty sure they're pretty happy that we're acknowledged that they're struggling
Our
too.
Patreon supporters.
Our Patreon supporters. You didn't let me set up the punchline. I mean, you let me set it up.
Sorry.
You punch really weakly.
I'm going to punch your COVID arm. Bitch.
So, no, that kind of sounded like a weird edit when Karradyne said bitch, and it's because I was laughing so hard that I had to stop.
Because he was choking.
As soon as I hit record again, she said bitch.
Because I knew you were going to start talking. I had to get it in before you said something.
But we got our COVID shots this weekend, so we've been a little bit on the struggle bus.
Just in pain and tired.
And then audio issues with recording last night. So, not fun times. Before we continue, I want to bring up something a little bit serious. Somber, serious. Not our usual tone. We do have a listener called Dave. Dave is a great guy. Unfortunately, Dave won't be listening for a while because of some unfortunate life situation that happened. And we just wanted to take this moment to tell Dave we appreciate you listening every week. And we can't wait for you to come back so that you can continue. And I hope everything works out well for you, my guy. Anything you want to say to Dave?
Thanks, Dave.
And apart from that, we had John, which we have previously mentioned in the podcast, asking where the hell the episode was because he was stuck in traffic and he had nothing to listen to.
We posted on Facebook and Instagram where the episode was, but people don't pay attention.
No, he paid attention. He said, just release it already because I need to hear it.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, John.
So you're probably going to hear this after I tell you the episode's up, which it's probably going to be up. I have no idea.
Well, no shit, he's going to hear it after you tell him it's up.
Yeah. I think COVID has fucked with my brain somehow.
You know what's fucked with my brain today?
What?
The fact that Macauly Culkin is now a father.
That is weird.
Macauly Culkin has a child.
Wow.
A child.
That is...
We're not old enough for this.
No, we're not old enough to have kids. We're barely old enough to have Luna.
Yeah. We barely keep her alive. She's hanging on by a nail. By a toe bean.
By a toe bean.
It smells like Doritos.
Those are the most delicious toe beans. All right. So, anything else you want to talk about before we continue? Because we got a lot to talk about this week, especially me. We have a long episode.
I think I should just turn this whole episode over to you. Peace out.
Okay, no. Do you know why?
Because it's time for...
Book talk.
This week's book is actually a graphic novel, like the second time that I've done this.
I know, it's been like the third time. Remember, you had...
Poon Poon!
Poon Poon.
And, well, I was thinking of the scary one. Uzumaki.
Uzumaki, yeah.
So third time that I've... Well, okay, first one that's not from Japan, I think. I don't know. I didn't do my research. Anyway. Okay, so...
Were you supposed to do the research for the introduction of the book's name?
So it's The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wang, published February 13th, 2018 by First Second. I saw a lot of rave reviews for this one on Bookstagram, and I knew I had to read it. I thought I'd be able to read it on Hoopla, a digital platform provided...
Hoopla! I feel like
God.
I've done that before.
You probably have. Provided by my public library that has tons and tons and tons of graphic novels. But alas, it was not available. But one stupid cool thing about the Orange County library system, and I may have mentioned this before, is that they have a home delivery hold system. That's right. Gone are the days where you place a hold at the library, get a phone call when it comes in, and have to go pick it up yourself. Peasants! OCLS delivers your holds to your front door in a blue bag of happiness. That's what they're literally called. They're called blue bags of happiness. They even have a GIF on Instagram stories.
Oh, I thought you said like it had a GIF on the actual bag.
No.
That would be interesting.
They have an Instagram GIF that says blue bags of happiness.
I would really like to see a blue baggie of happiness with a GIF
God.
on it. Please.
I bet I know what's in that blue baggie of happiness. Anyway, it's the best thing ever. So anywho, I got home from work this past Thursday to a blue bag of happiness containing this beautiful graphic novel, plopped myself on the couch, and had it finished by the time Chris got home from work. I loved it.
When was this? Oh,
Thursday.
Well,
When we went to Viet Thai.
I had a really long day on Thursday.
Yes, you did. But still,
yeah.
that's really impressive for me. You got home at like 6, and I'd already finished it. It's an hour and a half.
That's not bad. That's actually pretty good.
So the story begins with Frances, a dressmaker, being commissioned to make a dress for a very grumpy girl who's being forced to go to a ball she doesn't really want to attend.
Luna.
Yes.
Okay.
She basically says, "Make me look evil," and Frances makes the coolest but probably the most shocking dress ever. It catches everyone's attention, and Frances is essentially fired over it when a stranger shows up at the shop where she works and confronts her about the dress. Turns out it's actually to hire her as a private dressmaker for a super secret client. So she just quits just as her boss realizes he might just be making a terrible mistake in firing her.
Hiring her.
Firing her.
A terrible mistake in hiring her.
I mistyped.
Oh.
Yes, you should get rid of all of that. Because I had a typo and I realized it as I was reading it.
You have a couple of typos
Why
here.
are you reading along with me, sir?
Because
Shut your eyes
You finally
and
used
your face.
You finally used my template.
Oh my god.
And-
Well, I made a typo.
And you love it.
He's like, oops, don't want to fire her because she's actually worth her shit. Anywho. Frances is whisked away by the stranger and introduced to her new boss while blindfolded. The boss tells her they're either deformed or horribly injured and disfigured, I don't remember exactly, but finally agrees to let her remove the blindfold, only to show that they have their entire head covered by a cloth. This is not weird at all. But the cloth is quickly removed, and we discover why there is such a need for secrecy. The client in need of fabulous dresses is not a woman. And not only is it not a woman, but it's the prince.
What?
Yep, the prince likes to wear dresses.
What?
Yep. It's pretty freaking cool.
I mean, if it makes him happy.
It does. That's all that matters. So now let's get into my thoughts. This graphic novel is precious and would be a great way to introduce kids to things like the bending of gender roles and acceptance of others. I spent the whole novel worried for poor Prince Sebastian that he would be found out and that the royal family would banish him, but the story ends on such a high note of positivity that I barely knew what to do with myself. Though the story is brief, the characters are so solid, and Frances and Sebastian build such a beautiful relationship in that short time span, but it isn't insta-friendship by any means. Their relationship deepens with every dress she makes.
How many dresses does she make?
I don't remember exactly, but there are several, and they are gorgeous. There's this one that's like fruity themed for some fruit pageant or something, or like a Mandarin festival. I can't remember. What?
Mandarin Festival.
Mandarin oranges.
I know.
Yeah, it's a really pretty orange dress.
It would have to be.
What?
Yeah. It's orange fruit. Orange the fruit. So I'm guessing the dress would have to be orange the color to match orange the fruit.
Yeah.
Orange the fruit.
Yeah. Anyway.
Brought to you by the color orange, not the fruit.
The dresses are breathtaking. I don't even really like wearing dresses, but I need these dresses. I loved every single one of them. There's this one. Well, this is the one that she made for the grumpy girl, but it's like a black one-piece bathing suit, but with super fluffy tulle all around it. It's beautiful.
So she just makes like poofy dresses. She doesn't make summer dresses or something like that?
Yeah, I think most of them were poofy dresses. But we got to think about the time period. It was appropriate to wear poofy dresses.
What time period is this set in?
I don't know. It's in the olden days. It's fantasy. Come on. Well, it's not fantasy, but it's not real.
So it's not like the King's new dress where he just walks around naked?
Oh, my God. Anyway. So I also love that the story wasn't only about Sebastian and the fact that he likes to wear dresses. It was also about Frances following her dreams and essentially making something of herself from nothing, all because she followed her instinct and took a client's sarcasm very seriously. It's great because like the actual paying client was like this girl's mother or aunt or something, and she was super pissed off. But the girl was so grumpy. She's like, make me look like Satan, and Frances was just like, you know what? I'm going to listen to that. And goes for it. I love it.
Make me look like Satan.
So the art is gorgeous and vivid. I've kind of gotten to a point where I don't really like reading black and white graphic novels. They feel a little bit dreary to me. But The Prince and the Dressmaker has all of the Roy G. Biv gang up in there, and I love it.
The what?
The Roy G. Biv gang.
What's that?
Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Roy G. Biv.
I have never heard of that before.
You've never heard of Roy G. Biv?
No.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I'm serious.
What do they teach you in Puerto Rico?
What do you think?
Roy G. Biv. Oh, God.
Oh,
so, yeah,
boy. COVID made you funny.
You need to look up Roy G. Biv. Like, this is mind-boggling to me that you've never heard of Roy G. Biv.
So I have to say that the one thing that they taught us in Puerto Rico was that you can trade chickens for food.
What?
I don't.
Chickens are food.
I didn't pay attention, so I failed that class.
Did you have art classes? Like painting, drawing?
When in grade school, we then later on had a, what's it called? We had to choose between wood shop and home economics. Of course, all the girls went to home economics because Puerto Rico is very
gender rolled
and patriarchal. And all the boys went to wood shop except for the smart ones because all the girls were in home ec, so those were the smart guys. I wasn't one of them. I went to wood shop. But we did learn how to use tools. We did learn how to make stuff out of wood and all that stuff. So it was kind of interesting. Teacher was, I think the teacher was a bit of a crackhead, but yeah.
That's lovely.
Yeah, it was very interesting school. I remember there was a scandal one time where the cops came and arrested this one teacher because he was having a relationship with one of the girls in his class.
Dude, I got a better one for you.
What?
So there was this one time. Okay, so in my hometown, it's very, very small. There are not a lot of people.
Yeah.
But they did have two different elementary schools. for you to go to based on like which side of town you lived on, which doesn't make any sense because that's the only group that had 2 schools. It's now 1 school. But like there weren't 2 high schools, there weren't 2 primary schools, there weren't 2 middle schools, there were only 2 elementary schools. How much sense does that make? One of them was on the bad side of town. Thankfully, I wound up going to the good side of town.
Now, here's the thing. You would think that you would want to separate all these students in high school when hormones are a thing.
Right? Not in fucking elementary school. We're just writing each other notes and playing MASH. What the hell? Whereas in high school, you're knocking each other the fuck up. Anyway, so there was...
I have to say, these people who got knocked up in high school, right now they're getting rid of their kids.
I remember this one girl who was pregnant when we were 13 in the 8th grade. I felt bad for her.
That's kind of terrible.
Yeah, it was pretty awful.
Yeah, no. I don't want kids. I didn't want kids, and it's not going to happen.
But wait, my scary teacher.
Okay,
Well, not my scary teacher.
Elementary school.
Yeah, so she worked at the other elementary school, Holly. Oops.
The bad one.
Yeah, the bad one. And she lost her shit one day. I don't remember exactly what the news said, but she basically just like started telling her students about her suicidal thoughts and slit her wrists in front of them. I shit you not. Yeah.
The fuck?
Right?
Jesus
Those
Christ.
poor kids. They're probably cracked out right now.
Yeah, because
Or like
South Georgia doesn't believe in therapy.
in some sort of weird My Strange Addiction or My Strange Fetish relationship show. Like that one where those people play children. They pretend to be kids.
That's so creepy.
Right? Oh, God. It freaks me out.
That's about as creepy as the people who play to be dogs and animals.
If that's your thing, I'm sorry for hating on you, but that's fucking weird.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, getting tied up and beaten up, that's different. Playing that you're a child, that's really bad.
It's weird.
It's weird.
Oh, anyway.
It's wrong.
We've derailed.
We've derailed massively.
Significantly. All from Roy G. Biv.
Yeah.
Who knew?
That's cool. We managed to kill like 3 minutes, so.
Sure.
So fucking Roy G. Biv.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
So overall, this was a very heartwarming, feel-good graphic novel that everyone should read.
Hey kids, do you like violence? Do you want to see me put 9-inch nails through each one of my eyelids?
Oh, God, don't say that. Is that why they're called 9-inch nails?
I don't know, but that's Eminem. That's my name is. That's like the first line.
Oh, I never understand exactly what he says. There are only certain words that I remember. My name is...
Yeah.
Sam Shady.
Okay, so again, overall.
Solid 5 stars.
It's
a great read.
We're having way too much fun.
Oh, God. My review is like 10 minutes long, and yours is going to be like for the next hour.
Actually,
be an hour and a half long
Yours was
episode.
like 13 minutes, and 3 of those minutes were you talking about your violent, well, those other kids' violent teacher. That's some fucky shit.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and get into games and stuff. All right, so welcome to my Wang one-man show where I talk about Hades and nothing but Hades because
Your
I am
Wang
obsessed.
Man show?
Yeah, my Wang Man show because
You're
I
gonna
fucked
show
up.
your Wang?
No, it's weird. It's tiny. It's like a belly button. You know.
Oh, please.
That. So yeah, this is my one-man show where I just talk about Hades and nothing but Hades because I am fucking obsessed with Hades. I finished writing this whole thing that's probably gonna take an hour just to read, and I kept playing Hades because it is amazing. So let's get started. Hades is a roguelike action RPG that was developed and published by Supergiant Games on September 17th, 2020 for the Nintendo Switch. This is probably the one of the few good things that 2020 brought. Hades. In the game, you take control of Zagreus, the son of Hades, as he attempts to escape the underworld to reach Mount Olympus. Along the way, he is given boons by the Olympian gods to help him on his quest. The graphics in the game are beautiful. The graphics have a hand-drawn, cel-shaded background style with small details like skulls and corpses and the like littering the place, just to give it a little bit of character. There's actually an asphodel, which I mentioned in the cold open. It's kind of like the fire pits of Hades, and you see lava skeletons coming out of the lava while you're running around, and they throw fireballs at you, which is kind of cool. It's actually very, very fucking cool, because the landscape changes as you're fighting and you're breaking towers and stuff, and the enemies are attacking. The area where you're fighting changes. You can have like molten pits of fire show up, or like spikes come up from the floor, or have sentries like
That
shooting
sounds scary.
arrows. It is awesome.
Scary.
The character models all have their unique differences to tell them apart. Zeus looks exactly like you expect him to. Big, mighty, regal, with a thunderbolt in his hand.
A thunderbolt?
Yeah, because if he doesn't have his penis in his hand, he has a thunderbolt. Because
Wait, what?
Didn't you know that all of Greek mythology...
They like to have a lot of sex.
Greek mythology wouldn't exist if Zeus would have kept his wiener in his pants.
That's true. That is very true. I think about, is it, not Remember the Titans? That's that football movie. Clash of the Titans.
Clash of the
With
Titans.
Liam Neeson as Zeus.
Yes.
Yeah, I think about him and his Jesus hair fucking everybody on Earth. Remember the Titans.
Release the Kraken, and the Kraken's just trying to get a touchdown.
Oh, God, that's great.
So on and so forth. All the rest of the Greek gods looks exactly like what you would expect them to. Aphrodite is the weird one because she's completely naked, and you can't see anything because she is like in a position where she's covering everything, but her hair is also covering stuff. So these character models are crazy. You actually sat down and looked at them with me while we were recording the top 5 things we enjoyed of 2020.
I'm looking her again.
Aphrodite, she has pinkish hair. The animations of the game are very snappy. They're very fluid, and there are these little touches such as smoke coming off of candles, being wavy and playing with the wind, with hues around them. The enemies move a little bit stiffly, but that just adds to the personality of the game. It was a creative choice that Supergiant Game took, and it paid off. It actually has like really... Yeah, that's her. That's Aphrodite. So if you guys want to see Aphrodite, just look up Aphrodite Hades.
She's pretty.
Yeah, and she's also kind of horny for Zagreus, which is weird.
They're all horny.
They're all horny, which is kind of weird because Zagreus is, I think, her cousin. Yeah.
It's Greek mythology. Anything goes.
Yeah, they didn't care. They didn't know about DNA. Sound design. The sound design in the game is superb. It has very crunchy attacks, the great music with varying levels of death. For example, if you put the game on pause, you would hear the stage music muffled. The voice acting in the game is actually way better than I expected. All the characters have obviously very different and varying personalities, being that they're all from the Greek pantheon. You would expect for them to have different eccentric personalities, which they do, to the point where they all come off as a little bit flirty in some instances. But my personal favorite is Dionysus. He is the god of partying. So he is kind of a dude bro who is always egging you on to hurry up and reach Mount Olympus so you two can party and drink together. It sounds like me and my cousin Omar. It's like, come over, let's start drinking. And I'm like, dude, just let me get out of work first. So I read in a lot of reviews that the characters in the game are very horny. I didn't see that at all, except for the specific instance where Megara, one of the Furies, was asking Zagreus how her whip felt when she whipped him.
He dictated this to me so I could type it for him. And I thought he said her whap.
I'm sure Megara does have a
There's
whap.
some hoes in this house.
I'm sure she has a whap.
Oh, I'm sure they all do.
I'm pretty sure her zombie sister has one too.
Oh, God.
God, it's gooey. Gameplay. The gameplay is impossible to describe. It's not really impossible. It's just hard to convey how great it is. Because when you think of roguelikes, you think of punishment, you think of losing progress, you think of being cautious, you think of slow gameplay. And to a lot of people, that is just plain off-putting, myself included. I have to be in a very specific type of mindset to enjoy a roguelike or a roguelite. But Hades somehow avoids the pitfalls that originally come with being a roguelike. Sure, there are moments where you lose everything, but the stuff you lose is stuff that you can only use in your escape attempts. For example, money, boons, and stuff like that. You won't lose other stuff that you actually need to upgrade. So it's not like your success and your progress is dependent on you actually completing your goal. All right, so let's get to the beginning. Your attacks are very simple. You have the Y button for your regular attacks, the X button for your special attack, the A button for your projectiles, and the B button for the dashes. You also have the CR for special attack when you can use the God's power if you can have them. One of the really cool ones is when you get Zeus's help attack. He starts sending lightning bolts from Olympus, and they just start striking randomly in the battlefield. So it's actually very helpful in some places. This all changes depending on which weapon you're using. All of the weapons you can use to belong to the gods. For example, you can use Hades' spear, the bow of Artemis, the shield of Athena, and among a few others. Some of these weapons are very up close and personal for fighting. Some, like the bow, are obviously long distance. I personally prefer the twin fists. They're up close, deal a lot of damage, and they're fast. So the next thing that needs to be covered is the boons, right?
Right.
This to me is what makes the game so much fun. It's what causes each escape attempt to be completely different from the last. The boons are abilities that you get from the gods. So these can cause different types of damage to enemies. For example, Dionysus is the god of drinking and partying. So because of that, his boons cause enemies to get drunk. This is also my personal favorite. So when the enemies, they get drunk, they slowly start losing health, along with they start getting slower. And depending on the boons that are offered, they can be used on your dash, regular attack, special attack, or your range attack. All of these gods offer a certain variation of their abilities, and they can grow on a rarity scale, with the rarest one dealing either the most damage or status effects. So in one run, you can have a mix of powers of Aphrodite with Poseidon, and in a different run, you can have a mix of Hermes and Ares. As you're playing and learning how differently these boons work, you get to the point where you know which ones work best for your own playstyle and which ones complement the weapons you're using best. Apart from the boons, there are other items you can find to upgrade your attacks. Pomegranates level up your boons so that they deal more damage, and there are hammers that you can find that will give your weapons different attacks. An example is the Adamant Rail, which is a machine gun that shoots 12 bullets and then has to reload. With a hammer, you can have a 3-round burst for an infinite amount of times without reloading. I had a very good run recently with that combo, and I fucked it up right before I fought Hades because of an amble from Karradyne.
Way to go.
It gave me 2 random hammer buffs, which took away my infinite 3-round burst, and I could not figure out the timing of it, so Hades beat my ass. Speaking of Karradyne, he pops up every once in a while with his shop where he sells you any 3 random things for the money you can find in the game. They range from boons, pomegranates, hammers, food, darkness, gems, and keys. I already covered boons, pomegranates, and hammers, so next is food, darkness, gems, and keys. Food obviously restores your health. Darkness are gems that you collect to upgrade some abilities that you can buy in Sagrius' room, like Death Defiance, which allows you to come back to life after being killed. Gems are used to upgrade Hades' palace with new decor and the like. And keys are originally used to unlock the weapons. Later on, they are used to buy new tiers of abilities for Sagrius to unlock and permanently keep. Apart from those permanent upgrades, there's also the Titan's Blood, which gives you a permanent upgrade to your weapons, apart from adding a different special attack to them. I promise we're almost done. We just got 4 more things to go over, and we're completely done with Hades.
You say all of the words.
I do say all of the words. It is our podcast, but I do most of the talking. So
You have a more outspoken personality than I do.
I don't think it's that. I think it's that there are so many aspects of a video game that you can break down and talk about that I get to have more things to say about you, where you in a book, all you can talk about really is the storytelling and the way of the storytelling, the writing, and
I could analyze it, but I don't want to go back to college.
I mean that's kind of what we're doing here. For no degree or
This
money.
made me feel nice and fuzzy on the inside.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
So, apart from the combat and the escape attempts, there's also a sort of social interaction system where you grow bonds and friendships with the denizens of the underworld. They'll give you advice on how to escape the underworld, as well as tell you stories of their achievements in battle they had in life. I read that weird. Anyways, you get the point. And not only that, yeah.
In Greek mythology, doesn't everyone go to the underworld when they die? It's not like heaven and hell.
There is a heaven and hell. There
is
obviously Hades.
Mm-hmm.
And there is the Fields of Elysium. That is technically heaven. The Fields of Elysium is mostly reserved for people who never went to battle. And, well, actually, I think it's reserved for the heroes and normal folk who never went to battle or killed or did anything bad. So
I'm not that familiar.
I'm not entirely sure how the Fields of Elysium work, but
You know what I should have done?
what?
I should have read Circe,
What's that?
a book about Greek mythology,
Oh, interesting.
with a song of Achilles. Damn it, too late.
Oh, well. So not only do you get to grow these relationships with the characters, but you can give them nectar to grow the relationship even deeper, to the point where you could end up in a relationship with some of them. Some of these characters, once maxed out, will give you a companion that you can use once per run. This aspect really makes Hades a different type of roguelike from any other that came before it. I personally believe that having Greek mythology and the gods as the characters and setting of the game really add a certain charm and depth to the game that would not have been done as easily in other games. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't easy to create this game, because look at how much I'm talking about this game. And I've just been talking about gameplay and a little bit about the social aspect. So, but I think that these characters lend themselves well for this type of storytelling. So let's get into the problems of the game. We're almost done. I have 2 complaints. The first one is that the bow fucking sucks. I tried a few escape attempts with the bow, and I always failed right before the first boss. I could not get the firing timing right. If you hit the regular attack button, Zagreus takes aim with the bow instead of just shooting an arrow. Hitting the special button makes it so that he shoots a series of 6 arrows in an arch, which actually does some decent damage, but it just feels so terrible compared to the other weapons in the game. In short, the bow is bad, and I'm probably never doing a full run with the bow. My last complaint is that you have to finish the game 9 times in order to get the true ending.
That's insane.
It's bananas.
You're gonna do it though, right?
I am. I'm actually going to do the whole 9 runs, because I actually...
You need to know.
I jumped on Wikipedia and I read the ending of the game.
What the fuck? Why do you always do this?
And the way that the story is set up, the 9 runs does have a meaningful connection to the story.
I hate your need for spoilers.
So, sure, the game is fun enough so that each run feels different enough so that, you kind of can... argue that you had a different experience each time you finished the game. And 9 is doable, but it's a bit excessive. I personally think it's a bit excessive. I don't know about you. Praises. This game is phenomenal. I love how interesting the characters are, how interesting the premise of escaping the underworld so you can join the gods in Mount Olympus is, and I love how deep the combat and growth in the game is. This game might be the most fun roguelike I've ever played, and it is because it never feels punishing or unfair. You receive all the tools you need to succeed, and if you fail, it will always be your fault. The growth rate Zagreus has is perfectly balanced, and it doesn't feel too rushed or held back, which really helps in experiencing all the dialogue and interactions in your escape attempts. There's so much to love about this game that even if you hate roguelikes, you'll end up loving something about this game. Overall, this game is officially on the list of my favorite games of all time. I cannot recommend this game enough. I cannot describe this game in a way that will make it justice or convey how amazing it is in a decent time frame. I can, however, tell you that it is worth $35 physical or $25 digital.
That's cheap.
And this game is definitely 5 stars.
Garbage! It's a garbage game.
It is a garbage game. It is soul food for the video game lover. Wait. Okay. Let's move on to our next segment. You know what it is?
Give me the garbage.
All right, it's Give Me the Garbage.
This week's restaurant is Ramen Takagi in Oviedo, Florida. We discovered this place one night when we went to our favorite pizza place, Santino's. Ever since Sapporo closed at the end of 2019, and if you don't know what Sapporo was, it was a ramen place in Orlando.
It was one of the.
It was our first date.
It was one of the flagship
official date.
That's true. It was our first official date because we did have a date, but we didn't go anywhere.
He made fun of me.
Yeah, I did make fun of you. I made
used
you feel.
a fork.
I made you feel so bad that you ended up learning how to use chopsticks.
He said he was embarrassed to be seen with me.
I did not say that.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did. You told me later, after our relationship was solidified.
Yep, that's true.
Asshole.
But Sapporo was one of the staples of ramen in Orlando. I mean, everybody had eaten at Sapporo at some point in their lives if they lived in Orlando.
I mean, we couldn't get in there for the last month that they were open because the line was insane. Hours long.
Yeah, and they reopened it under a new name called Dasun Ramen.
It's all right.
Almost as good as Sapporo, but
Not quite.
Not there yet.
No, not quite.
No. We went when it opened and it was terrible, and then we went recently and it was way better.
Yeah, they're getting back to their groove.
Yeah, I hope they do soon because I missed that tonkatsu.
And it was cheaper. Anyway, so ever since Sapporo closed at the end of 2019, we've been searching for the next perfect ramen and have been struggling to find it. Chris has liked essentially every ramen place we've had.
It's noodles and pig milk bone broth.
I haven't liked any of them. I thought one of them tasted like flower water, but we won't go there. At Ramen Takagi, we had our Sapporo go-tos, and for once, it did not disappoint either one of us. So my Sapporo go-to was always the shoyu ramen and a smoked salmon onigiri. I have dreams about that damn onigiri.
I love how the onigiri came wrapped in...
It was funky. It was in
so cool.
Was it cellophane? No.
It was like...
It was some sort of plastic wrap.
Yeah, I think it was cellophane.
It was...
No,
not cellophane.
No, it was like plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never mind.
But it gives you instructions on how to open it, which we didn't quite realize at first. And then the girls watched us struggling and came over and showed us how to open it.
Yeah.
It should be dummy proof, but
we're too stupid.
We proved otherwise.
We're extreme dummies. The stupidest. We thought Luna was the stupidest. No, we're way stupider than her.
So I've had a hard time eating ramen or pho without sriracha, and I just really don't understand why all ramen and pho places don't just have it on the table at all times. So that would probably be my one and only complaint about this place. I need some fucking sriracha. I am going to get on Amazon and buy one of those damn pocket containers for my sriracha because this is just ridiculous. So despite the absence of the sriracha, I really freaking loved this ramen. The broth was so tasty and flavorful and gave me all of the happiness I've been missing since December 2019. And that onigiri, oh, it was perfection. I love a good smoked salmon, and this was so tasty and so fresh and so fishy and so good. Once again, despite the absence of the sriracha, you gotta have sriracha on your fucking onigiri.
Technically, you don't, but it does
You
add.
gotta have it.
It does add.
We gotta have it.
It does add a nice little hint of something to it.
We also ordered the pan-fried gyoza, another Sapporo go-to, and I think this was probably the only element that didn't quite add up for either one of
It
us.
wasn't as good, but they were still
It wasn't
good.
bad. It was good. And we'd probably order it again, but I don't know that we would order it every single time.
I would rather have like 2 onigiris instead of 1 onigiri.
Yeah. Yeah.
The gyoza. I had the tonkatsu ramen.
He always has the tonkatsu.
I fucking love tonkatsu. The thing about this tonkatsu that I loved so much is that most places where you go and have tonkatsu, it just tastes like garlicky, milky, bony water. This tasted like pork. It was so amazing. It had so many layers of flavor. It had the cream and the creaminess. It had the garlic. It had the pork flavor. It had the ginger flavor into it. It had so many good. I can't even explain how amazing
I
it was.
do not like tonkatsu. I would not order tonkatsu, but if I had to order tonkatsu, I would go get it at Ramen Takagi because it was the best one. I don't like the milkiness of it. It freaks me out. It freaks me out a lot.
We still have to go to another ramen place that opened right near where we live. And I saw the video on their Instagram where they're mixing up their tonkatsu. And it looks fucking insane. I want to go try that. But anyways, back to Ramen Takagi. The noodles were really nice. They were bouncy, firm, springy. They were I don't want to say al dente because I fucking hate al dente noodles. They were
like right in between.
Yeah, they were the
Really,
perfect consistency. And no matter how long they sat in that broth while we were eating them, they didn't really get soggy.
Exactly.
They stayed the same consistency.
Egg.
Oh my god, let's wait for the egg. The pork in it, the actual
The
chashu
pork was awesome.
It was
and I normally
bananas.
don't like the pork because I feel like it's too fatty.
It
was really good
perfectly
pork.
cooked. It was tender. It was hearty. It was exactly what you would want for your pork and your soup to be. It was meaty. And
Not
then-
fatty.
Not fat. And then the egg.
The egg.
Oh my god, the eggs. These are the best eggs I've ever eaten in my entire life. They were
I don't know.
perfectly
I would put
caramelized.
up a runny pho egg up against this egg, but that's just me.
I would put this egg in the pho. I think this.
I like my fried egg better.
This egg was beautiful. It was
very good.
It was yolky. It was soft. It was sweet. It was rich. It creamy.
You know what would have made it just a teeny tiny little bit more perfect?
Sriracha.
Yum, sriracha. No offense. Sorry, that was offensive. Oh.
Well, we're just gonna get canceled with you saying
Shut up.
terrible stuff.
J.K. Rowling is my one true love. No, I'm lying. That'll really get us canceled.
No, I think we're already canceled. We don't have any listeners.
Oh. Yeah, now that Dave is gone for a little while, we really don't have any listeners.
And John's
John.
probably mad at us because we haven't released the damn episode and we're taking so long
We had to
recording
listen
it.
to radio in traffic.
Oh man, that's terrible.
Yeah, we
They
suck.
don't have JRR everywhere, so
I know,
what do
right?
people listen to when... Anyways, enough of this tangent. Ramen Takagi, definite garbage. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very tasty.
I think this
A
is...
little pricey,
It
but
is-
very tasty.
It is a tiny bit pricey.
When compared to Sapporo,
Yeah.
I think the thing that pushed it over the edge was that they don't have tap water, whereas Sapporo had a nice water cooler up at the front where you could go serve yourself a nice glass of water for free, as you know water should be, but they only have bottled water at Ramen Takagi, which is lame.
Yeah, but it's worth the price.
It's lame.
You're paying. You're eating what you're paying for. It's not like you're gonna pay
It's good food.
It's not like you're gonna pay $60 for a full dinner and you're gonna eat fucking Maruchan.
It would have to be some hella fucking elevated Maruchan.
I would punch the chef in the face.
Oh, God.
Sir, if you give me Maruchan and I paid $60 for this, I am punching you in the throat.
60 cents is more like it.
Yes, and even then it's too much. But yeah, Ramen Takagi, garbage. Amazing.
Yes.
So let's go into housekeeping, and this episode is actually shorter than I thought it was. You want to kill some time before we end the episode?
With what?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about? Is there anything specific or important that you would like to mention?
We've just like extra fallen in love with Luna for the last 2 weeks. I don't know what it is, but she's just been like the stupidest, cutest dog ever.
That's true. She's also obsessed with me.
She is obsessed with him. She gets really, really excited when I get home. She's super excited to see me. But then she's done. And she goes back to him. I was literally here all day Saturday. She stayed in this room with him all day. I leave to go get myself some dinner while he leaves to go have a boys' night. I come back and he's already gone. And she acts like she hasn't seen me all fucking day. Because guess what? She wouldn't have even known I was here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. She
sleeps on his butt.
She doesn't sleep on my butt.
We literally have photos of her head propped on his ass.
It's not my ass, it's my butt cheeks. So I usually don't talk about video game news on the show. I kind of do, but it's mostly about stuff that's immediately coming out, right? Yesterday, a couple of days ago, the news broke that Sony had declined declined the pitch for Days Gone Part 2. And they said that they decided to make a remake of the original The Last of Us, which, if you've heard the show before and you personally know me, you would know that I fucking hate The Last of Us. That first game is complete and total garbage, and it deserves to be burnt in a trash pile, like the garbage it is. The second one is way better, and it's so much more better, and oh my god, the second one is amazing. The first one is shit. But the people are just mad. Nobody wants a remake of a game that's 7 years old, and it still looks just...
Oh, that's that thing that you shared on Facebook.
Yeah. And like people are genuinely upset because, you know, you're wasting your resources remaking a game that looks amazing.
It's like if somebody tried to remake The Lord of the Rings.
No.
The movies.
It's like if Endgame came out, 2 years ago? Mm-hmm. And they wanted to remake it again.
Oh, that's silly.
It's stupid. So that's a very stupid business move on Sony's part. But what I think is an even better business move is not making Days Gone 2. I love the first Days Gone, but the pitch was revealed today that they wanted to do co-op in an open shared universe. So basically this means that they wanted to kind of do a Destiny clone version of Days Gone. What the fuck are people thinking? I mean, we don't want any more of these Destiny-type games. We don't even want Destiny to start with.
I remember watching my ex play this game and wondering what the point was other than dressing up his person.
That's it.
Because it was just walking through the void in cool outfits.
That's it.
And sometimes you might see another person from the internet and run away from them.
But yeah, no, Days Gone was awesome. The main character, Sam Witwer, did an amazing job as Deacon St. John. He was also Starkiller in the Force Unleashed video game, which I loved him in that too.
That book I need to read.
Yeah, the book you still need to read. So he was awesome as Deacon. The whole game, it was either for you or not. Apparently the game sold like crazy. And the secret ending that you unlock after you do a few certain things in the game actually sets up for a really nice sequel. But no, they wanted co-op and open shared universe and fuck everything that made this game so good and special. And I'm glad Sony said no because of that. Just because of that. So I'm sure they lost a lot of money when they backed the Avengers game. And that was my water gallon. I think we've rambled enough. Are you ready to end this?
I suppose.
You don't have any Bookstagram drama you want to share with everyone?
Oh, God, there's lots of drama on Bookstagram.
Like?
Lots of drama. So, everybody's mad at Emily A. Duncan and Jay Kristoff. Emily A. Duncan because her books are supposedly anti-Semitic, although that's not the main reason everybody's mad at her. So, apparently they. I know the pronouns are she, they, according to the Instagram bio, and I never know which pronoun to use when you have more than one pronoun. Oh, God, I'm just going to go with she, because she is there, so surely it's acceptable. So she was supposedly in a group chat with some other white authors, and they were making fun of less well-known, less highly paid, up-and-coming authors of color. Like, one of these women wears a full burqa and everything, and they were making fun of her. Oh my God. I don't know the details of, like, how this was leaked. I don't know if somebody took screenshots. I don't know if it was, like, on a public platform or what. But everybody found out. And she's been roasted, as she should be. But she posted an apology that was just like,
I'm sorry I got caught.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the apologies always are.
Jesus Christ,
she does not directly acknowledge what she did, just like what I said, what I did, not specifics. Yeah, and it's unfortunate because I just participated in a book swap, and all of this came to light after we made our book lists, and I had gotten my package in the mail like the day before all of this surfaced, and of course my book that my partner chose, which is fine because it was on my list, is one of her books.
Oh boy.
But then Jay Kristoff, it's not as, I don't want to say it's not as severe, because it's still severe, but I don't think he was quite, like, in the same bullying vein as she was. It's more just, like, some artist was accused of whitewashing characters, and he defended this artist, and apparently has not stood up for the AAPI causes that are going on. I don't even know exactly. They're both getting canceled. He's a very sarcastic, like, asshole type person. They've also said he doesn't have proper representation in his books. Hers are supposedly anti-Semitic because she has, like, blood sacrifice. Okay, here's my take on that. It's a fantasy novel. It is fantasy. I think you have to stop reading into it so much at a certain point. Like, Woven in Moonlight. People have literally read that as her supporting colonialism, even though she is half Bolivian and is writing about her own culture in a fantasy world that's still, I don't want to say it's urban fantasy, but it is a blend of the reality with fantasy. And people are saying she's supporting colonialism just because of some of her themes. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like you can't dissect fantasy that much.
I mean, when you're trying to write a story, I've never written a story because I'm not creative. When you're trying to write a story and you're trying to talk about your experience, you can't just hide stuff, right? You would have to talk about the ugly stuff too, even if the ugly stuff is not accepted by most people. You can't just pretend it didn't exist, informing who you were and informing the characters that you want to write about.
And that I think that's my problem with cancel culture. Like, I get the things that are problematic. I get not supporting those things anymore. But just like you said, we can't wipe out history. We can't erase
it.
It's
like these people that say, oh, the Holocaust didn't exist. Why? Because Nazis are bad. Like, no, it
definitely happened.
It happened. Nazis are bad, and if you do a Nazi salute in Germany, you're going to go to jail. But you can't say it didn't happen because it upsets you and a group of some people. You have to acknowledge that it existed because it was terrible, and that's the only way it won't be repeated, because some dumbass down the line is going to be like, oh, let's do this because nobody has done this before. So.
Yeah, we have to learn from the past and stop repeating it. I don't know. I don't know what the right stance is. And I know I should have a stance because I'm privileged and white, so I can't be silent. Otherwise, I'm just festering in my privilege. I mean,
as long as you condemn the bad and you don't support it, I mean, really, who cares? As long as you're not actively going like, oh, let's go burn some crosses.
It's just now that if you have any sort of platform, you have to actively condemn it. You can't just be quiet. Otherwise, they still come at you because you didn't condemn it.
So here's a message from a novel console.
We condemn all things bad.
If they are acting like pieces of shit, if they are doing stuff that is bad, we officially condemn it. So they can go fuck themselves. And you too, if you give us some shit about it.
Oh, God, don't say that.
It's our podcast. We can say whatever we want. Nobody listens. Who
cares?
Bookstagram
is there's always some drama there. Always.
Yeah. That's you haven't told me some of the crazy shit that's been happening lately.
Oh, God.
But I guess it's fine that we talk about it here. Maybe we should open a segment called Bookstagram Gossip. And just talk about all the crazy stuff that these...
At one point, I was in the middle of it, but it was over
the
engagement
social justice
groups.
warriors.
It's fine.
The social justice warriors that want to cancel the people who actually went through the stuff. It's like, oh, fucking idiots. Anyways, let's finally get into some housekeeping. Go sign up for our Patreon because it's $2 a month and you get episodes and whatnot. I know we haven't uploaded Godzilla, but we will soon. We've just been having computer problems. Anyways, remember to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at anovelconsole and on Facebook at facebook.com/anovelconsole. Don't forget, you can also tell your friends that they can find the podcast on most major podcast streaming platforms, and they can also listen on YouTube by searching for A Novel Console. Don't forget to tell them to subscribe, like, and comment, which we'd be happy if they did. You should also leave a review on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts so that more people can find us. You can also email us at anovelconsole@gmail.com, and we will read your email on the show. And our art was done by Metamorphic on Instagram. Link is in the description. All the links are in the description. There's also the card link on our socials, which you can find. So
like everything is on there.
Everything is on the card link. So, anything else you want to say before we end the show?
Be nice.
Be nice. Be kind. Rewind. Isn't that what Blockbuster used to say for when you rented out the videos?
I think so. Oh shit!
Be kind. Rewind.
Did you have one of those rewind machines?
The VCR was the rewind machine.
No, we had a literal VHS rewinder thing.
Why?
It was solely for rewinding.
Why?
I don't know. It was the 90s.
So I'm going to tell you something that I never told you. I actually just remembered it. When I was a kid, when we got a DVD player, the first movie that we watched, I don't remember what it was. All I remember is that when the movie was done, my dad said, rewind it. And I rewound the DVD. I actually pressed the rewind button and rewound the entire movie because that's what we did with the VHS.
Bless it all.
Yeah, I have never been smart, so.
Bless it.
All right, so you want to say goodbye to everyone?
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.